everybody. Welcome back to the School for Professional Dog Listeners YouTube channel. Today, I have the delight of introducing you to one of our very first graduates from our Professional Dog Listener course, Karen Van Wyck. So thank you for joining me here today, Karen, and you're going to share a little bit of your story to date on becoming a professional dog listener. I know it's going to be really interesting for everyone to hear a bit about you and your path in the dog behaviour world in general. And certainly it's going to be of much interest to anyone who may be thinking that this is a possible career move for themselves. So perhaps I can just begin by asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself. What was your background or career before you joined the course?
Well, thanks for having me. Um, Initially, I did my training in South Africa as a nurse and midwife. And when I came over to the UK, I didn't apply for a PIN number. So I actually went into care work. And it was when I was with one of my clients who unfortunately passed away, I inherited his greyhound. And that's what sort of got me really interested in greyhounds. And once I was no longer working in care, because he was the last care job that I did, because now I had a greyhound to take care of and I didn't want to be working away. So I started looking for something else. And I by this time become part of a greyhound community. I'd met other greyhound people and I just somehow slipped into doing house and hound sitting, mostly for greyhounds. I do have other clients as well, but mostly for greyhounds. And that's what I'd been doing up until studying the dog listening.
Oh, so you started out caring for people and that brought you to caring for dogs. How
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
And so, what was the point when you decided to pursue professional dog listening?
I first heard about dog listening when I had a greyhound who decided he was going to suddenly, for no obvious reason to me at that point, become reactive to other dogs, huskies in particular. And at the time, I thought, right, I need to get on top of this. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know why he's doing this. With hindsight, I know jolly well why he was doing it. It was because of me. I'd suddenly, I don't know, he'd reacted once to a husky, and I then, every time I saw a husky, I thought, oh, there's a husky. Sunny's going to freak out. And of course, Sunny did freak out because I was freaking out. So, but
Mm.
I'd read one of Jan's books, so I'd heard about dog listening. And at the time, I was kind of thinking, this seems too simple. This is never going to work. Sunny's not going to respond to this. And anyway, he's a greyhound, so you can't train a greyhound. I haven't had him since he was a puppy. All these things were going through my mind. But I thought, well, let's just give it a go anyway. So as I started to put the principles in place, Sunny just it wasn't just his reactivity that changed. He was more relaxed at home. He didn't pull on the lead anymore. And I'm doing all these things and I'm thinking, can it really be this that's changed him, or has he just changed all by himself? But it was just like it was amazing. He just completely changed. He was a different dog.
Gosh, how interesting. And it's so interesting to hear you talk about it. Um, don't we complicate things as humans? Like something seems so simple, too simple. It must be suspicious, Isn't it interesting that we do
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
as humans?
Yeah.
And yet it is simple because we are relating to nature rather than all of this going on up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we often, in dog listening, we often talk about the aha moment when we either when we're studying it ourselves, we're introducing it to ourselves or we're introducing it to a client. Is there a specific realization or an interaction that comes to mind that fundamentally changed your view of the human canine relationship?
I think it was that realizing that Sunny was responding to my reactivity, that he was not trusting me. And it was kind of like, my dog doesn't have a behavioral problem at all. He's got a communication problem. I don't understand him. And it was that realization that they are just doing the best that they can do. And it's up to us living in the human world to recognize that they're just being dogs. And it's me that's the human in the human world. It's my job to understand what he's saying. It's not his job to understand me and all my nonsense.
Yeah, that's lovely. And that realization is so profound and so transformative in itself, in and of itself, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so you were caring for dogs, you were doing dog sitting, greyhounds were a big part of your life. You started this course. Um, did I know you're quite a student? Did the learning journey that we put you through, did that pose any challenges to you?
Not really for me because I love learning, so I'm always into. What really posed the challenge for me was that getting that clarity that I need to change my mindset.
Mm,
That
mm.
it's not, it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy because it's so ingrained in us that this is how things work. And when you look at dog listening, it's almost the opposite to what you've been taught with traditional training. And it's that mindset shift that I found more challenging than anything else.
Yeah, that's a really important thing to note, actually. We do need, when we're starting to study something new, we need to bring that beginner's mindset,
Yeah,
that open curiosity with us, because of anything that we're bringing with us, little baggage that we're bringing with us, or
yeah,
any of the learning. I certainly did exactly that when I first discovered the approach. It was like, huh? Totally different
yeah,
to what I had been brought up with.
yeah.
Um, so the learning side kind of fitted in with you and your personality anyway. It'd be really helpful for somebody who's considering enrolling to understand what a typical week of study looked like for you. What sort of time did you need to dedicate each week, for example, while you were studying it?
In terms of needing to, it was not that long. It wasn't like a really heavy workload or anything. It was more getting that mindset shift, which was brilliant because working with dogs, I had that opportunity to practice and play with the dogs. But I'm guessing that most people that would be going on the course will probably have their own dogs or access to dogs, because they've got that interest. But the actual workload itself, I would say I mean, I could never wait for the next installment to come along. So I probably would have spent maybe 3 or 4 hours a week sort of really digging into it. And I would also do a little bit of extra study on the side as well. You know, look, I'll read this book, I'll look at some of Tony Knight's YouTube videos and some of Jan's
Yeah,
YouTube videos. And
yeah.
so I,
Yeah, when we were putting the weeks together, we were trying to keep it, relatively doable as possible for anyone at whatever stage, because we're assuming that people are going to be working in their normal lives while they're studying.
yes,
So, yeah, you were definitely going above and beyond with your sort of additional research, probably as well.
yeah,
We're hoping for about maximum 2 hours, I think, each week, and um, what we're also hoping to enable is that if you can't keep up one week, you've got some weeks to catch up with, So
yeah.
there's no sort of real regimented. You have to do it like this.
Yeah,
Um,
I never felt any pressure ever. It's just that I'm lucky enough that because of the nature of the work I do, I mean, I'm sitting in a client's house now, surrounded by dogs. So I've got that time. It's like being at home. I've
yeah.
got the time to actually put into studying. So I did that. But there's definitely absolutely no pressure at all. I wouldn't say it's if you're working a full-time job and you're only coming in and then cooking tea and getting the kids to bed, you still have time in the evening to actually put it all into place. It's yeah,
Yeah.
not a big workload at all.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Um, One of the things I was interested to hear about was what, if there was, I hope there was, a skill or a piece of knowledge that you picked up from the program that you weren't maybe expecting to be so much of a part of your life as a professional dog listener.
I was expecting to be working with dogs, but I realized that it's actually we're working with humans. It's more about owner education than dog training. It's
Mm.
helping the human to help their dog,
Yeah.
basically. And
If
that
I,
was a surprise to me, not an unpleasant one necessarily, but definitely a surprise.
yeah. Yeah, the realization that the dog responds to the environment in which it is, with with the personality the dog has. And you're with a few dogs at the moment, aren't you? How
I
many have
am.
you got with you?
I've
Uh,
got four.
are they all greyhounds?
They're all greyhounds, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's quite lovely thinking about your case is that you came from caring for humans it led you to caring for dogs, and then that's led you back to caring and guiding and advising humans again.
Yes, yeah.
That's a really nice synchronicity. I love it. Um, well, maybe as I think one of your dogs is probably popping up to ask you to share what your business looks like at the moment. So, because you're still house sitting,
I'm
and
still house
yeah,
sitting.
go,
Yeah.
tell us what it looks like.
Yeah. So I'm still house sitting quite a lot, actually. I've just come away from 3 Newfoundlands to 3 Greyhounds with Peter. I bring Peter with me. So
Mm.
I always have to check with clients that, meet on neutral ground first so that the dogs can get used to him. So basically, Peter doesn't really have a routine, which is brilliant because dog listening has made him quite happy and relaxed wherever I am, or even if I'm not there, actually. He's completely relaxed because he trusts that all is good. That means I can then keep my clients' dogs in their routine. So if they've got
Mm.
jobs and things that require them to be in a routine, I can bring Peter. He's happy to just slot in with anybody's routine, not a problem, which is brilliant. And also with the behavior side of things, I'm doing my business as much online as possible. So I can still work with clients on the behavior side of things while I'm working away with the dogs. So
Wonderful.
I've got sort of the initial principles of dog listening. Oh, hello, we've got Peter. My initial course of the principles of dog listening is like a self-study online, but with a weekly call in the evenings. And then there's also a daily call in my community that I've got. So anybody that comes on the course goes into the community. We have like a drop-in Q&A, 1 hour every day. I try to stagger those calls so that wherever people are in the world, they can get onto a call that isn't the middle of the night or early hours or something.
Mm.
And then there's the community for people to just put questions in there anytime they've got questions, chat with each other, because sometimes it actually helps really a lot to understand. I've also got a greyhound who does that because I specialize in ex-racing greyhounds.
Yeah,
So
wonderful.
getting new greyhounds settled into their home, dog listening's perfect for that.
Isn't it so perfect? I personally am so delighted that, there's a new professional dog listener in the world and also in the world of retired racing greyhounds. I just think it's so wonderful. And so tell us about any moment that you've had, like really, where you've experienced really significant and lasting difference, maybe even with yourself and Peter. It was nice to see Peter just then.
Yeah, he's just having a wander around
Okay,
now.
good.
Yeah, Peter, it was surprising to me because he's my fourth greyhound that I've had, and he was very, very vocal when I got him. And I was really worried because I live in a flat.
Hmm.
And I thought, well, I need to ignore this attention seeking because it was very clear that he was attention seeking. I thought, I
Okay.
really need to ignore this, but I'm worried about the neighbors. I'm thinking they're going to be banging on the ceiling and saying, shut that dog up. But I realized that I'm just going to have to do this because it's the kindest way to work with a dog. So I just knocked on the neighbors' doors and I said, okay, this is what's happening. Peter's new. He may be a little bit noisy. Luckily, at that point, they said they'd never heard him, which was brilliant because sometimes it was 4 o'clock in the morning when Peter decided he wanted attention. But within 2 or 3 days of me
Wow.
actually ignoring that attention seeking, he was quiet. And now I know when he does start shouting at 4 o'clock in the morning, he either needs the toilet or he's cold. He's only
Yeah.
started really doing it. I said since the clock's changed, and I'm thinking to myself, is there something significant there? And then I realized, no, it's getting colder. So now he's in his pajamas, and I do the ear check. I call it the ear check. So I check his ears. If he's crying in the night, check his ears. If his ears are cold, another blanket goes on, and then he's absolutely fine. He's settled
Oh,
and he's
bless.
fine.
And that's, yeah, that's lovely, and I love that because what we see is that we can clarify our communication with our dogs to a level that they only, disturb us when they really mean it, when there's
Yeah.
really something that they know we can help them with, and then of course we're going to help them with it. Yeah, wonderful. And I know that you've also had you've been able to help a client in that way in terms of barking as well.
Yes, yeah, I've had a client whose dog barked at absolutely everything. And actually, while I was there talking to her, we did the thank, look, reflect. And she actually got up every time he barked, she got up and she did that. And 2, 3 times maybe, he just jumped up on the sofa, sat next to me, and he was listening, he was observant. She would say thank you if he looked like, if he made any sound at all, she would say thank you. He would just look at her and he just like, oh, somebody's listening to me. I told you something was happening and you're listening to me. And he was able to relax, which was brilliant.
Oh, it's so lovely to experience that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
once you've experienced something like that, there's no going back, is it? You're a dog listener for
No,
life now.
absolutely. Because that really surprised me how quickly it happened. I mean, but it
It
was almost as if
can.
you could hear him saying, it's okay, you're listening to me. I don't have to actually deal with this.
Exactly. I love it. Thank you, Karen. It's been so great to hear you talking about this and like this. We're so proud of you and the rest of your cohort. Hi, Peter. I'm going to draw this chat to a close with just a final question, because I always think it's such a useful question to ask interviewees with experience. So, if you could give a piece of advice to yourself just before you were starting the program, what might it be?
Do it. Just do it. Because I went on your webinar and when I was thinking about it, I'm thinking, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? But I would never think that now. I would just say, just do it. If if you've got any thoughts about doing it, get on it because it is just the most amazing thing. It just changes your relationship with dogs 100%.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Karen. So, if anybody's watching this and wants to be in touch with you, we will put your details in the notes below. But your website is happyhumanshappyhounds.com. Is that
That's right.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
great. Good. Thank you, Karen. And thank you, everybody, for joining Karen and myself today. We hope you enjoyed hearing more about our world of being professional dog listeners, and in particular, hearing from one of our recent graduates. If you'd like to ask us anything further about the course or anything that we've talked about today, just please do so in the comments below, or even book a call and let's have a chat. That would be lovely. As ever, please like and subscribe, and we'll be back very soon with another video for you. Thanks very much. See you soon.